a PowerPoint would work for this project?
What? No, that's way too generic.
Okay, how about a Google Slides?
Yes, we'll do that. That is perfect. There is no better plan than doing a Google Slides presentation.
Alright, let's do this. Hey, you want a sequel video? Let's do that. There are many formats you could do a school project on. The go-to format that me and a lot of people at my school do is a Google Slide. If you gotta present something to the entire class, it's such an easy way to do it. And if you want to make a Google Slides presentation really easy, then write a script on a piece of paper and have it right in your hands. Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation. It is about this man right here. He made a Facebook post claiming he was backstage with Eminem. Now I cannot confirm nor deny if this is real or not, but I'm going to take a look at all the facts to see if this man was truly backstage with Eminem. Alright, let's go to slide 2, the mom spaghetti recipe. School projects number 2, school projects number 2, school projects number 2, school projects number 2, school projects number 2! If I have nothing major when it comes to school, one of my favorite formats is making a video. Making a video is pretty time consuming, but it usually lands me a great grade. Believe it or not, the first time I actually used my original character was in a school project. We were assigned to talk about the eyes of animals, and me and my partner got assigned to talk about goat's eyes. Now let me tell you, back then I had no experience using Flash. But thankfully, my cousin Plagonic has really good experience with this program, so I had to ask him for help. What is a keyframe? I need to know! Thankfully, I learned how to make stuff, and I ended up getting like a 90% on this project. Some points had to be docked though, for very obvious reasons, as you'll soon find out. You see, Swivel has this problem where if you just throw in a file, sometimes the audio will just not come out complete. But thankfully, as I've gotten better at making videos, I've been able to make sure that the audio comes out clean, 100% crisp every single time. I thought it was just a glitch with my computer and you could hear the audio perfectly fine once it's in the classroom. Ha ha ha, nope! The video went completely silent halfway through my presentation. Thankfully, I caught the problem and I had to fill it in with my own words, and I had listened to that audio so many times while working on it that it was ingrained in my head. Now let me tell you, this first video project I tried making looks kinda bad, but I'm gonna show it to you anyway.
Alright, hello everybody in my class of 8-3. We are going to be talking about goat eyes today. According to me and my partner's research, goats have some of the best eyesight of any animal. This got me kinda curious on why they have such good eyesight, but if you took this diagram I drew in Flash and compared it to a diagram of a human eye, you can basically see that they're the exact same thing. Hold on a second. According to HenCam, goats can see about 320 to 340 degrees around them. Oh my god! I mean, that's completely absurd. 320 to 340 degrees is almost your entire body. Imagine being able to see someone behind you without even turning your head. How creepy would that be? But getting back on the subject of eyes, goats have rectangular pupils instead of circular ones like we do. And according to redwoodhill.com, they need rectangular shaped pupils because it allows them to see predators better, which is basically why they have such good vision. And to add even more on their
There is so much bad to talk about. Character takes up barely any of the screen. This is like 12 FPS. Also, for the love of God, what is that mic quality? My voice sounds like an incoming transmission.
Hey guys, welcome to my presentation!
Other than that, how's your day going? Hope it's doing good. Hope the commentary I'm giving right now is better than the visuals, which is not a very hard bar to pass. If you're new to the channel, hello. Maybe consider subscribing. Well, that's all I gotta say about this. Here, have some music for the rest of the video.
okay? This needs to stop now!
Yeah, I decided to use a bit of my own audio to fill in that part where the audio cut out. Let me tell you, that KOF song is a banger. But let's compare that to an actually solid project. Now, all the 8th graders at the time did this. You think of a product idea, make a logo for it, then actually make the product. And with that, you gotta make a commercial. Now, what me and a lot of other people did was make a sugary drink. My drink was a mix of cherry Dr. Pepper, Kool-Aid, Fruit Punch Mountain Dew Kickstarter, and that's all I can remember. And then I called it Rage Rush, because I secretly put in some crack. No, it's because it just has a lot of caffeine in it. Then once we finished the project, we had to present it to the entire school, all in one day. I ended up giving out samples, and from the feedback I got from everyone, including myself, it was actually really tasty. I think my favorite product someone else made would have to be my friend who made gamer juice. 10 out of 10 idea. And oh boy, here comes the commercial.
Okay, time to see what's in my fridge. Got a pizza, sausage, Chef Boyardee, a Pokemon card. Wait, what's that? It says Rage Rush. I wonder what that could be. It appears to be quite cold. But drinks are good when they're cold, right? I guess it wouldn't hurt to try.
Now you may be sitting there like, wow, that was really fast. And that's because I cut some of it out. And the reason for this is because there is a scene of me running down in my street super fast, but it's really just iMovie effects, and it is just really cringe. And I don't want you guys to see that. Now overall, this is not much of an improvement over the previous project, but it's very goofy, and since I had more experience in Flash, it just looked better. Now I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that my character is like a painting by Leonardo da Vinci, but when you compare this to this, it's like night and day. Alright, now we're getting into the actual good stuff. These next two projects were actually made fairly recently to this video, and they were for the same class. And best of all, it was made using my current style. So if this video you're watching right now is coherent to you, then so are these two. Basically, we had to answer a question about a significant event in history. And so for this first video, I talked about the imperialism of China. What's up, my fellow social studians? I don't think that's a word. Thank you for watching. This concludes my presentation. Just kidding. So I got assigned this project in social studies, and this is the video for it. Today's subject that I'm going to be talking about is the imperialism of China. And oh boy, this one is something. Those responsible for the imperialism are the oh so powerful British. You see, these guys wanted some of that good stuff from China. What I'm talking about is goods such as silk and teas. But since the British didn't have enough silver to get what they desired, they gave the Chinese something else in exchange for what they wanted. Drugs. Yeah, it was drugs. Or specifically, opium. In case you didn't know, this stuff isn't good for your body. It slows the messages from your brain to your body. This can cause reduction in heart rate, which in turn slows down your breathing, as well as loss of appetite and reflexes. This led to a lot of addiction. The Chinese realized this and called a ban on it in 1836. Later, between 1839 and 1842, the first Opium War started because the British didn't like that they couldn't trade drugs for goods between them and China. Sorry guys, we won't accept opium anymore. It's doing bad stuff to our people. What did you say there? Finally, the war ended, but as I mentioned earlier, the British were really strong, so they won. As a result of them winning, Hong Kong became another in their arsenal of colonies. Later in 1858, the Tientsin... The Tientsin? Hold on, let me Google how to pronounce this. Tientsin. Okay, I was right the first time. Later in 1858, the Tientsin treaties were signed by the Chinese, French, Americans, and the British. Again in 1860, there was a second Opium War because the British and French diplomats weren't allowed into Beijing. During the second Opium War, the Imperial Palace of Beijing was looted. Now to answer the question, how did imperialism impact social, political, and economical aspects of the world? Economically, it destroyed some of our self-sufficiency. For instance, I have this sweater which is red and black and it says Canada on the front of it. I love wearing it. You wanna know where it was made? Despite it literally saying Canada on it, it was made in Bangladesh.
I really love that sweater. Thank you, Bangladesh.
Politically, imperialism brought upon the world a hierarchy, and it was heavily dominated by Europe. Socially, it forced a bunch of Western ideologies onto other countries, which weren't there beforehand. This involves religion and language, and I'm not gonna go into that. So anyways, that was my presentation. Thank you for watching. And for the second video, I talked about how trade liberalization affects economies. Want to talk about trade? Okay, liberal. Trade liberalization is basically what happens when you take away the rules of trade between nations, removing barriers, tariffs, and quotas, allowing free trade from pretty much anywhere. On paper, that sounds like a pretty good idea, but when put into practice, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. How does trade liberalization affect economies? But so I don't completely lose your focus, here's some tunes. TL can offer people access to cheaper goods. An obvious pro to this is that you're saving money, but some cons are that it could be of lesser quality and can even cost jobs. After all, why go over there when you can get it cheaper from another country? But with countries trading like this, it leads to another term that I'm sure you've heard before: globalization. The process of the world becoming one. Not to mention countries getting cheaper goods from others can lead to competition between countries. I'll give this to you for $100.
I'll give you the same, but for 99.
Don't trust this guy with the demon voice. I'll give it for you for 98.
That was just mean. 97.
Hello, comrades. What is happening?
Go away, Russia!
Okay. До свидания.
96.
I heartily doubt it would go down like what I just demonstrated, but hopefully you get the point. Now back to the question, how does it affect economies? Well, like I said earlier, it can cost jobs, because if people want goods or labor, they can usually get it cheaper from foreign countries. Therefore, they wouldn't need to hire people locally, as it would cost more money. A great example of this is NAFTA, the North America Free Trade Agreement. I just nailed that on my first try. Let's get it! What happened with NAFTA is that the US decided to move its company's production to Mexico because there was cheaper labor there. So you can assume quite a few Americans were left without jobs. And yeah, that's basically how trade liberalization affects economies. To conclude this video, let me just straight up tell you, if you want to get a high grade, be like me. God, I'm such an ass. Yo, this video was a big boy. I don't have much to say for the end other than shoutouts to my homie Lucid. I really like your voice. And other than that, ask questions. Just please ask questions. Just go to the comments section and ask a question. Just like Hedgie, who asks, what YouTubers inspired you and what's your favorite games? For the first part of that question, I'm gonna have to say my boy Newtoons, Moist Critical, as well as previously mentioned Home Slice Plagonic. And then for the second part, any game you see on screen here. Well, that's all I gotta say. Don't die, my armored allies.